Hello everybody, I'm Steve at the Carmichael Workshop, and it's time for another sidebar conversation where I'll follow up on my most recent projects and just talk shop. So to get started, let's head outside and take a look at the raised garden beds that I made for my wife. So here are the raised garden beds I made for my wife. Check out my video on that if you'd like to see how I did it. She's already planted some tomatoes here in the middle one. And these tomato plants have quadrupled in size since the time I did that video. So we don't have any tomatoes yet, but I'm sure they're coming. Thanks to everybody for your suggestions on what type of wood is best for this and how to make these last longer in the elements. I just use regular construction grade 2x6s and some 2x4 to build these. They're unfinished, untreated, and it's kind of an experiment to see how long they last out here in the weather. I'm sure I'll do some follow-up videos on these in the future so we can see how they're holding up. But it's kind of hot out here, so let's go back inside. I made some of my drumstick pens for James Green's Pen Turning Challenge that goes to support the U.S. troops. If you missed that video, go check it out and see how I make pens out of my old broken drumsticks. I know James received lots of pens and letters that he can send to the troops, and I think he was sending those last month. So I hope y'all enjoy those. Also, I want to thank James and everyone out there who has served or is currently serving in our U.S. military. It's much appreciated. Huge congrats to everyone that got involved and participated and won prizes. And it's great to be part of a community that gets involved and does good things like this for other people. So I'm looking forward to doing something like this again soon. For the last couple of years, our local woodworking club has had a spring picnic with a whirligig contest. And this year I made this one with the theme of Shoo Fly, Don't Bother Me. I painted the base with your typical picnic tablecloth pattern, and you just put your plate of food here, and for the prop I used the ends of fly swatters, and when the prop turns, it moves the hand back and forth and shoos the flies away from your food. It actually works. That cracks me up. It was a beautiful day for a picnic, and there was a lot of wind to make the whirligigs go, so that was really neat. And I was told that my whirligig got the most votes. However, all the voting ballots were blown all over the yard and it couldn't be confirmed. But anyway, this was a fun project, and if you missed that video, go check it out. My most recent project was this new stand that I designed for my scroll saw. And I really like how it turned out, and it didn't cost a lot of money. If you haven't seen it yet, it's got a couple of bins on the front for some scrap and cutoffs, and also a place for blades and accessories. On the back, I made a little place where you can wind up the power cord and get that off the floor. And it's also mobile and on wheels, so you can take it wherever you want, and you could go scrolling outside on a nice day if you want to. I'd like to thank those of you out there who have already purchased the plans. If you're interested in getting the plans for this, I still have them for sale over on my Etsy store, and I'll include a link down below. Don't forget, if you make one, send me a picture. I'd love to see it. I've already gotten a couple of pictures. This first one is from Ralph, and he did a great job on his. He even added some nicer drawers than the bins that I made, so good job, Ralph. This next one is from Trudy. And Trudy made the storage box a little deeper so that she could add some 12-inch drawer slides. And she made a little saw blade tube holder for her. So that's a great idea. So thanks y'all for the pictures. I got a lot of suggestions on what types of blades to use. So thanks to everybody for that, because I'm new to scroll sawing and I'm still kind of learning all that stuff. I got some suggestions for how to hold this arm up while I'm inserting the blade through some starter holes. So thanks for those. And also probably the most overwhelming suggestion was that I need an electric foot switch to make the saw run. So I went out to Harbor Freight and I found this electric foot switch. It's a momentary switch. It turns the saw on when you press it down, and when you release it, the saw turns off. It got good reviews. I did not find a video review on this, however, so I'm going to do a video review on this soon, so I can show you guys this in case you're interested in it and find out how I like it. It says it also works with other tools, so I'm going to try it out with other tools too. So watch out for that video coming soon. If you follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, you may have seen that I had to expand my sticker spinner. I started out with 4 boards hanging from the disco ball motor. If you haven't seen how I made this, go check out that video. But I have since had to expand it from 4 boards to 8 boards. And I was kind of concerned about the sharp angle and whether or not you'd be able to see the stickers very well. But I think it turned out pretty good, and you can still see the stickers come around. So if you sent me a sticker in the last month or two, make sure you check this out in the background of my videos and watch your stickers spin around. Last weekend I had a shop visitor come up from South Georgia. His name is Keith Hurley, and he's got a brand new woodworking channel called Peccy's Place. He's got about a dozen videos on there so far. There's some woodworking, some metalworking, and also he has a CNC machine. And he gave me this Atlanta Braves baseball plaque that he made in one of his videos, which is really cool. So thanks, Keith. Keith and I got to spend some time here in the shop, and we also went over to a local lumber yard and bought some wood. So that was a lot of fun. Keith is a super nice guy. He's faced some tough challenges, but he's got an inspirational story that involves woodworking. So I'm going to leave you with a short interview I did with Keith. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi everybody, I'm Steve at the Carmichael Workshop, and I've got a special guest in the shop here today. It's Keith Hurley from, he's got a YouTube channel that he calls Peccy's Place, and he's just getting started in the YouTube world. I think you've got, I don't know, about 10 or a dozen videos so far.
Yeah.
And Keith does a variety of different projects, some CNC stuff, some metal work and different kinds of things. But I just discovered Keith's channel, and I was his 19th subscriber. So,
yeah, all 19.
Yeah, so
I still got 19.
So head over to Peccy's Place, his YouTube channel. I'll include a link in the video description below. So you can go over there and subscribe and help Keith get his channel started up. So
Thank
Keith,
you.
Yeah,
please help me get my channel.
Yeah. So Keith is from South Georgia, and I'm in kind of the northern part of the Georgia above Atlanta. So it took you 4 hours to get up here. Yeah, so that's a pretty long drive.
To Atlanta.
Yeah. 4 hours drive within Georgia, so pretty big state.
Yeah, Georgia's a big state.
Yeah, it's kind of hot out here. I'm sure it's hotter where you are. So.
Well, it might be, but
yeah.
I don't know. Usually it is.
Yeah.
Usually it's in the mid-90s.
Yeah, but Keith came up and you went to the aquarium in Atlanta.
Yeah, the aquarium.
And was asking me where to buy some lumber. So we just got back from Sewanee Lumber in Sewanee, Georgia. And we both bought some curly maple, and
great.
Yeah, you got some walnut and cypress.
Cypress.
That was real pretty. So you got your truck all loaded up and ready to go back home, right? Yeah.
I'm going back home today. Unfortunately, it's a long drive.
Yeah, yeah. But I wanted to ask Keith a couple of questions to introduce you guys to him. So, Keith,
Here I am.
How'd you get into woodworking?
I got into woodworking about when I was about 12. Wasn't really woodworking, it was more furniture finishing with my father, and I did a little repair here and there, and it wasn't. That's about it. Then I went into carpentry for a few years, rough framing. It wasn't finished carpentry.
Right.
And then when I was about 17, I became a welder, and I welded right up until my accident.
Yeah.
And after my accident, I haven't been able to do that because I can't do the fine motor skills. It takes too much dexterity.
Yeah, yeah. Keith and I were talking. He had an accident back in 1991. Yeah,
January.
An auto accident, and went through a long recovery. And from what I understand, you're not even supposed to be walking.
No, I'm not even supposed to be here.
It's a miracle. Yeah, I'm glad you're still around and can come up and visit the shop. Yeah. Yeah, but a lot of us out there, I think, got started because our dads were working with wood. doing woodworking stuff or furniture or whatever. Yeah, so that's the way a lot of us got started.
Yeah, I see, and it's becoming a lost art.
Yeah, yeah. Although I think there's been like this resurgence with all the
since
YouTube people
yeah.
and the maker movement and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool to see people making things. I think people have always been making things. It's just
People always make
we
things.
all just kind of stayed in our shops and didn't really show anybody what we did. So now with YouTube, I think we can actually see that there are a lot of people out there making stuff.
A lot of people out there.
Yeah, and so I don't know if it's dying as much as everybody says or thinks it is. So I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know.
That's the great thing about YouTube is we get to introduce woodworking to younger crowd.
Younger crowd.
Yeah, yeah, and keep the woodworking thing going.
Definitely, definitely, gotta do that.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you could come up and visit.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for
And I'm looking forward to seeing more of your videos. So everybody, make sure you head over to Keith's YouTube channel, Peccy's Place. Yeah. And I'll include a link in the video description below. So it's good to meet you.
You too.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.